Hey everyone, this is Stephen Pyatt,
And I'm Peyton.
and we're going to talk about Mount St. Helens trip in July 2021 for about a week. So we had about a 6-7 hour car ride with the three deacons. It did get a little smelly. We had to roll down the windows quite a few times for them. But it was all good.
This was our campground at Beaver Bay, and when we got back, when we had finished doing our hikes, we did a lot of capture the flag and ultimate frisbee, and we also cooked our own dinners almost every night, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, we also played a lot of card games there.
Oh yeah, we did.
So this was the map, so you can kind of see where it was, just south of Mount St. Helens area. So Beaver Bay Campground. So here is Yale Lake.
This was a lake that was right next to our campground, and the second time we went down there, we all got in, and we all jumped right back out because it was freezing cold.
Yeah, we had a challenge just to be able to make sure that we all went in. So they spent a lot more time on the beach building different things, trying to create dams, trying to just build sandcastles. But overall, it was a pretty good view there.
So on day 2, we went to Ape Caves, and it is a bunch of lava tubes that were made when Mount St. Helens erupted, and it's a fun hike, and there's a lot of spots where you have to climb over boulders and stuff, and also bring plenty of flashlights and extra batteries for those, because at one point my dad made us turn off all our lights, and it was pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face, but it was a really fun hike. There were a lot of boulders and rocks to climb over.
Oh, do you remember when we had to crawl on our stomachs through about 50 feet to get to the south end of the caves?
Yeah, there was one point where you have to crawl through a decent amount of just rock, and you're on your stomach. You can't stand up. But it's a fun hike, and when you get to the end, it extends for a little bit, but there's a ladder there, and once you climb up the ladder, it leads to a really nice forest area, and there are some big rocks outside that you can just climb around and jump on.
So next we went to Trail of True Forest, which was right next to it. So this was kind of like Lava Canyon, but a lot smaller. These were small tunnels for them to crawl through. So this is one where Josh was crawling through it. I mean, it's pretty hard on your knees if you remember that.
Yeah, so they're big enough tunnels if you're smaller, but if you're bigger, like my dad, then they're not as comfortable, and they're hard on your knees, but they're really fun to do.
All right, so here we are on Lava Canyon. You could see that cliff edge as we were hiking. It was pretty steep there. This was a spot where we had to use a ladder because it was just a straight drop.
So it was a 30-foot ladder, and it was very fun to hike on. I liked the 30-foot ladder, but this part was probably my least favorite part. It's a 200-foot drop, just straight over an edge, and there's water and rocks under you.
So thankfully we didn't lose any kids. We almost lost a few sunglasses though, but we got those. So this is the Smith Creek that we hiked all through. We crossed the river a bunch of times. We even stopped taking off our shoes. Oh, do you remember these thousands of tadpoles?
There was a lot of tadpoles, and I put my hand in them, and it felt really weird.
All right, so next we went to Independence Pass. This was probably our favorite hike for all of us.
Yeah, this was my favorite hike, I know.
The views were just amazing. Seeing all this, being able to see that north side of Mount St. Helens where everything blew out. It was just really, really impressive to be able to see. We also saw a bunch of elk. So that was fun to see. You can see all these logs. So many. And you can see it somewhat in the picture, but until you get closer and closer, you start to realize just the hundreds of thousands of logs that have to be there. So, and this is Spirit Lake is officially what that lake's called right there. So
this was Iron Creek Falls. It was a short hike, but it was a very beautiful waterfall, and the hike to get down there was a.
All right, so this is where we
very
gotta climb
steep drop.
down to the
Here's a video
waterfall.
about it.
Here's Josh. Here's the waterfall down there. I don't know if you can see right there. Let's see if we can get it to change that. He just disappeared down there. It is a straight drop of about 120 feet on a really small trail.
So this was at the top of the waterfall, and it looked kind of like a water slide, but not one that anyone would ever want to go on. But you could hike up to the top. It was fun up the top because you could see how the water comes down, and you could kind of hike upriver a little bit. And then this was us just like playing around at the bottom of the falls.
All right, so we just came to this waterfall over that way. As we're exploring, we realized there's a cave right here. So we're coming in. Oh, there's Peyton coming out. Ugh. Let's see how it looks like inside here. Oh, there's the Neanderthal Josh. And as we keep going in.
So here's a picture with that cave, now that we can actually have a flash in it.
This was a tree log that we had tried to break, and I was on the end. And as we broke it, I fell into the water that was freezing cold and got laughed at by everyone else.
Yeah, we like to watch this one over and over again, slow motion. So here we are, we went next to June Lake right after this. So here's a little bit about that.
So June Lake, it's a really nice hike. It has a nice waterfall, but we were hiking behind someone who was smoking a cigar the whole time, which made it not as fun. And the lake itself was pretty disgusting. A bunch of bugs and other stuff just in it.
Yeah, we didn't even get in the water. But the waterfall.
The waterfall was good. Was very good. I liked it.
So next we went to the Lewis Falls, all the different Lewis Falls. It's about 9.5 miles, I think it was.
It's actually 11 miles.
Oh, okay. So here's where you can see right here these amazing falls. This was Upper Lewis Falls. You can see the person right up there, if you can see that little speck. And then they also had a dog that was swimming all around in it. So I think we actually sat here and had lunch for that first day. That was pretty fun.
So this was a tree that had been hollowed out, and we were all able to fit in it. It was a little cramped with all of us in it, but it was pretty big.
All the boys were in there. Us
Yeah.
adults didn't get in there.
So this is Middle Falls, I think, and there's this like stretch of rock that just had a little bit of water going over right here. It was about an inch of water. You can just walk on it, and when it goes over the rocks, it just goes into a deep pool.
Lower Falls. This is the main attraction that everyone wants to go to. And it is definitely worth it. So we decided to take pictures here of the falls for everyone to be able to have their own picture. The rocks here were just covered with moss, so we were just slipping all over. So if we weren't walking on the rocks that were cutting our feet, we were walking on the rocks that were making us slip all over.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But the waterfall was beautiful, and there was this pool of pool off to the side that you could swim in. It wasn't the warmest, I'll say that.
It was similar to Yale Lake, where it was about 50 degrees, because it's all glacier water. So you can see that pool right there on the left side. There was a lot of people that ended up swimming in it, but we happened to get pictures before anyone got there.
So this is Mr. Bihar, who, as soon as we got there, he just started taking a nap pretty much while we were all hiking. This was a really big tree that we had found, and all of us had linked arms, and we couldn't wrap our arms around it.
Yeah, they didn't even cover half of the trail, or half of the tree. So, and this was our hike back. Going back, it was all uphill.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the end, that's our Mount St. Helens trip. It was pretty awesome. What do you think, Peyton?
I liked it.
So, anyway, happy to everyone. Hope you got to watch it. It was great to be with you, Matthias, and Josh and Brother Bihar.